The Montana sun hung low over Bozeman, bathing Cedar Lane in a golden haze that made the neighborhood feel like a postcard. Lawns sparkled with morning dew, kids zipped by on bikes, their laughter echoing through the quiet streets, and the only drama typically came from HOA meetings where neighbors bickered over mailbox colors. I'm Ethan Caldwell, a 42-year-old software engineer who'd traded the frenzy of tech hubs for this suburban sanctuary. For 5 years, Clara, my wife, and I had lived in our cozy two-story home, its wraparound porch a haven for lazy evenings. Clara's lilac bushes, planted last spring with her characteristic zeal, framed our yard, their purple blooms a vibrant contrast to the manicured order of Cedar Lane. Life was peaceful, predictable, until one Saturday morning, when the screech of tires and the brazen audacity of Loretta Hammond turned our tranquility into a battleground. It began innocently enough. I was elbow-deep in those lilacs, pruning shears locked in a duel with stubborn thorns that snagged my faded jeans and threadbare t-shirt. Sweat beaded on my forehead, my back groaning as I hacked at the overgrown branches, the air thick with the earthy scent of cut foliage and Montana dust. The hum of a neighbor's lawnmower blended with the chirping of sparrows, a suburban symphony I'd grown to love. Then, out of nowhere, a gleaming white SUV swerved into my driveway, not on the curb, not in a neighbor's lot, but smack in the middle of my two-car driveway, blocking both spaces. I paused, shears dangling, my brow furrowing as I watched a woman step out, blonde hair swept into a perfect bun, oversized sunglasses perched like a tiara, designer purse swinging with deliberate flair. Loretta Hammond strode toward me with the confidence of someone who owned Cedar Lane, her heels clicking on the pavement like a metronome. "Excuse me," she called, her voice a syrupy mix of sweetness and edge, sharp enough to slice through the morning calm. "Are you the landscaper?" Landscaper? I was filthy, my t-shirt torn, jeans streaked with dirt, looking like I'd just crawled out of a hedge, but landscaper? I chuckled, popping the P for emphasis. "Nope. I'm the homeowner, Ethan Caldwell. And you are?" She blinked, momentarily thrown, as if expecting me to snap to attention or salute. "Loretta Hammond," she said, squinting at the house numbers across the street. "I'm here for the Harrisons, 1422, Cedar Lane. Are they home?" I gestured with my shears, their steel blades catching the sunlight. "Probably, but your car's blocking my driveway." Loretta gasped, clutching her purse like I'd threatened her entire existence. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just needed a spot to wait. Actually, this is perfect." My pulse quickened, a prickling unease settling in my chest. "Perfect for what?" I asked, voice steady but wary. She beamed, batting her eyelashes in a performance straight out of a cheesy rom-com. "My car's filthy, road trip grime, you know? I'm meeting the Harrisons for lunch in an hour. Since you're out here doing yard work, could you give it a quick wash? I'll pay." I froze, my brain reeling as if it had crashed like a buggy server. This stranger, who'd invaded my driveway without a hint of courtesy, mistook me for a landscaper and now expected me to scrub her SUV? I stared, shears still in hand, the absurdity sinking in. "Loretta," I said, slow and deliberate, each word weighted. "Are you out of your mind? You've parked in my driveway, think I'm the help, and now you want me to wash your car? I'm a software engineer. I write code, not suds. Even if I ran a car wash, I wouldn't touch that thing without a hazmat suit." Her smile faltered, her face flushing a vivid pink, a hue I'd later dub angry flamingo. "How dare you speak to me like that?" she spat, her voice rising. "I'm a paying customer." "You haven't paid a dime," I snapped, my patience evaporating. "You're not a customer, you're a trespasser, and frankly, you're rude." She crossed her arms, huffing like a spoiled teenager. "I'm very disappointed in your attitude. I thought you people were supposed to be helpful." The air went still, the words "you people" hanging like a toxic cloud. My vision blurred with rage, my fists clenching the shears so tightly my knuckles whitened, but I forced my voice to stay low, dangerous. "Loretta, I'm pretending I didn't hear that. Move your car, or I'm calling the police for trespassing." she shrieked, her face now a full-blown inferno. Go ahead, call them. I'll tell them you're harassing me. I'm a woman alone, and you're threatening me. Before I could process, she was on her phone, dialing 911, spinning a web of lies to the dispatcher. Yes, I'm being harassed by a man. He's aggressive, refusing to help, and I'm scared for my safety. I stood dumbfounded. She could leave, just reverse her SUV and drive away. Instead, she cast me as a villain, her performance Oscar-worthy in its delusion. I whipped out my phone, hitting record because evidence is king. Loretta hyperventilated, her voice quivering as she told the dispatcher, he's a large, terrifying man, and I'm petrified. Large? I'm 5 feet 10 inches, sporting a dad bod from too many late-night coding sessions, but sure, menacing giant. She shot me smug glances, convinced she'd triumphed. 10 minutes later, a Bozeman police car rolled up, its lights cutting through the morning haze. Officers Barnes, a sharp-eyed young woman with a no-nonsense air, and Ellis, a grizzled veteran whose smirk betrayed his amusement, stepped out. Loretta launched into her sob story, tears streaming like a soap opera star. This man's harassing me. I just asked him to wash my car, and he started yelling. Barnes raised an eyebrow, her gaze flicking between us, while Ellis cleared his throat, barely containing a chuckle. Ma'am, let's hear it from the start, Barnes said, her tone neutral but probing. Loretta doubled down, her narrative now painting me as a raging lunatic, her voice quivering with feigned fear. Barnes turned to me. Sir, your side. I held up my phone, a calm smile masking my inner fury. Got it all recorded. I played the video, the audio capturing Loretta's car wash demand, her "you people" slur, and my measured refusal. The officers' faces shifted from neutral to incredulous, their eyes narrowing as Loretta's lies unraveled. Barnes fixed Loretta with a look of pure exasperation. You parked in this man's driveway, demanded he wash your car, then called us when he said no, claiming he's threatening you? Loretta stammered, her cheeks flaming. He was rude, intimidating. Ellis stepped in, his voice firm but tinged with disdain. Mr. Caldwell was calm and reasonable. You parked illegally, made a false report, and wasted our time. Your implication he's threatening because of his size or race is offensive. Loretta's face erupted into volcanic red, her sunglasses slipping as she sputtered. Move your vehicle now, and we suggest you apologize, Barnes said, her tone leaving no room for argument. Loretta glared, her eyes blazing, then stomped to her SUV, flipped me off with a flourish, and peeled out, her tires squealing on Cedar Lane. Classy, Barnes sighed, shaking her head. Sorry, Mr. Caldwell. Some people. Ellis chuckled. You handled it like a champ. Try to avoid more driveway drama. I nodded, grinning. Not every day you get front row seats to a Karen meltdown. They laughed, tipped their caps, and drove off. Inside, Clara and I watched the video, howling until tears streamed down our faces. She actually thought you'd wash it? Clara gasped, wiping her eyes. I shrugged. Bozeman's got its characters. We posted a summary online, omitting the video to avoid a social media firestorm, but the story spread like wildfire among our friends. 2 days later, the phone rang, and Mrs. Pritchard, the HOA president whose entitlement rivaled Loretta's, was on the line, her voice dripping with condescension. Mr. Caldwell, we've received a complaint about a disturbance in your driveway, unbecoming for Cedar Lane. I clenched my jaw, incredulous. A woman trespassed, demanded I wash her car, and called the cops when I refused. She's the problem, not me. Pritchard sniffed, her tone icy. You could have been more accommodating, neighborly. She wasn't a neighbor. I snapped, my patience gone. She was a random woman insulting me on my property. The call dragged on, Pritchard implying I'd somehow tarnished the neighborhood's reputation. I hung up, fuming, the arrogance stinging like a slap. A week later, a letter arrived, a $250 HOA fine for disrupting the peace. I was livid. I'd been the victim of Loretta's entitlement, yet the HOA punished me. I drafted a scathing response, attaching the police report, a link to the video, stored securely on my cloud, and a screenshot of Loretta's Yelp review whining about the Harrisons' lunch spot, a one-star tirade blaming bad parking. I sent it certified mail, my anger channeled into precision. The HOA caved, the fine erased, and Mrs. Pritchard was ousted in a storm of resident outrage, fed up with her tyrannical reign. Karma had struck swiftly. Weeks later, I spotted Loretta at a Bozeman grocery store, her face pinched with misery as she stood in the checkout line, her sunglasses now absent, her confidence dimmed. The sting of her "you people" comment lingered, a wound that pride wouldn't let heal. I could have walked away, but justice demanded a final word. "Loretta Hammond, Cedar Lane, right?" I said, voice loud enough for the shoppers to turn. "Ethan Caldwell, the car wash guy? My lilacs are blooming like crazy. Come see, just don't park in my driveway." She paled, her mouth gaping as shoppers whispered, their eyes darting between us. She stammered, but I cut her off, smiling. "Hope you've learned to respect people's property and skip the false accusations. Take care." I strode off, leaving her speechless, the line buzzing with murmurs. Later, I learned Loretta had been desperate to impress the Harrisons, advertising moguls with deep pockets, her spotless SUV a prop in her social climbing scheme. Her reputation in Bozeman was tarnished, known for clashing with service workers and posting vindictive Yelp reviews, as local gossip confirmed. A Bozeman news station called, wanting an interview. I agreed, and the story went viral, turning me into a local hero. Strangers high-fived me on Main Street, grinning. "You showed that Karen." Loretta called to apologize, mumbling about anger management classes. I accepted, skeptical but ready to move on. Cedar Lane was peaceful again. My lilacs thrived, and karma tasted sweeter than Clara's homemade pie. My driveway stood empty, a testament to standing firm, and Bozeman knew the man who refused to wash a stranger's car.